As anticipated, Bitcoin sees resistance at $10,000 right now, currently trading around $9,700. Why? This could be an incredibly bullish thing for Bitcoin and what we can anticipate in the next few days. What is up, everyone? Thanks for coming by today. If you're here, you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn those notification bells on. Let's jump into the video. Here we go. We know Bitcoin broke a very key trend line the other day. We broke $10,000 the other day. But what I really want to look at in this video is why this current retracement in the last day or so is a good thing. And for context, what I want to do is simply take a quick look at a video that I did 2 days ago after breaking $10,000. And what that looks like is very simple. You see it on the screen here. Higher highs, higher lows as Bitcoin is getting ready to have this 50 moving average cross above the 200 moving average. I think if I were to guess what Bitcoin does next, it would be a setup like that. Now, the way that forms, I don't know. We just saw some resistance here at 10,000. We might come back down, test this upper trend line, this long-term upper trend line, and that right now could be around $9,300, right? So bounce off of 10,000 back down to 93, and then we can start forming our channel, right? Our rising channel with. So there it is, everybody, our rising channel, and that is incredibly important because for Bitcoin, a rising channel in a continued uptrend could be extremely bullish. A lot of times a rising channel has, a lot of downside momentum with a breakout to the downside, but we can also see how it's bullish. And we just looked at that, right? We have this rising channel right around this 50-day moving average cross above the 200. And then we have a similar setup potentially happening now. But what I want to do is I want to dig into that a little bit. So first off, here's what happened the other day. Bitcoin hit its targets right here around $10,000. Two targets, a symmetrical triangle right here, and this long-term rising channel target with also a breakout of $10,000. The technicals on that are awesome. So we have that for context. Now digging in a little bit, I want to look at what this move looks like that we're anticipating potentially for Bitcoin now, what it looked like back then on the 6-hour chart. And here's what it looks like, right? So we can kind of, for context and for imagination and speculation, we can look at this move back in April of 2019, kind of like Bitcoin cruising up and hitting $10,000 today, right? Back then it was around $5,500 or so. But we can look at that move and we can liken it to what just happened, Bitcoin hitting $10,000. And what happened? It fell into a rising channel, right? That eventually had a breakout target to the upside, a very nice bull run. That's what we're anticipating. Now, from a technical perspective, here's what we're looking at. Bitcoin made that move. We had a swing high. Let's call this, back then, it was 5,500 or so. Let's call it today's version of 10,000, right? So we take that first swing low. We had that nice move through 10,000, and then we kind of came back to a Fibonacci retracement, and it's kind of a story of Fibonacci retracements. We can do it again, and that's usually what higher highs and higher lows are, a story of Fibonacci retracement. So here's a swing low, here's a swing high, and yes, again, Bitcoin retracing right back down to a Fibonacci retracement area. Higher highs and higher lows before eventually breaking out. So going over to the charts today, here we are. They look very similar thus far. There's no guarantee this will continue, but here's what we can anticipate. Bitcoin, with its move to $10,000 up here from its previous swing low, before we got that breakout, right? So let's chart this Fibonacci. Swing low to our Fibonacci swing high, and then we can see where would the next swing low potentially be. We have a Fibonacci area around 9,100 to 8,800. I know in that video I said around 9,300, but let's get technical. Let's look at really where it could be. And we're looking around 9,100 potentially to 8,800. Could it be higher? Absolutely. We don't have to visit this Fibonacci area, but what we're looking for is a higher low from this swing low back here. Now that higher low, if we fell in this Fibonacci area, say around $9,100, would fall right around this long-term trend line. Now that could be huge. We know when we break out of key trend lines, a throwback to that trend line are very likely, right? A lot of times very likely. And also if we see support at that trend line, very bullish. So potentially we come back down, we put in that first swing high or swing low, it's a higher low, and then we continue up to our next target. And you see this line here, this line is right around 10,500. Now that is a very bullish line to break because that is actually the swing high that we had in February. You know, that's the last swing high. And if we zoom out on these charts, right, we can go back to this chart and we can really zoom out here. We know that Bitcoin, in order to start entering a bullish atmosphere, has to start putting in new highs, right? We can't keep putting in lower highs because it's been just a story of lower highs. Even if you go back to the last bull market, look at this. Bull market high, right? Lower high, lower high, lower high. Currently, still at a lower high, though we're only $500 below that previous high. We need to break this lower high. We need to start putting in new swing highs because we have still a lot of resistance ahead of us for Bitcoin, and you can just see it on the charts, right? We know if we take out our long-term Fibonacci retracement from our bull market high to bear market low, we still have a really key solid resistance area, 16,000 to 13,000, in order to break to even get into that next bull market. Because along that Fibonacci retracement confluent is the swing high that we had last summer, another swing high that's incredibly bullish to break, but again, a lot of resistance there. So we can go back to, I guess we can go back to this chart here. This is the 4-hour chart. We can zoom out and we can simply chart where we are now on a more midterm level, which is essentially we're breaking that trend line right now from last summer. This is like a year-long pattern. It's a falling, broadening wedge. I'm not charting it perfectly, just giving you some idea of what we're looking at. And the breakout target for this is right to that long-term bull market Fibonacci retracement, right around 13,500, right up here, right? So this is all currently happening at this upper trend line. You know, we talked about these smaller term moves that need to happen for Bitcoin in terms of putting in higher highs and higher lows. This is on the kind of the micro, like zoomed in look on the 6-hour chart. But if you zoom out, here's what's actually happening. All this key resistance at this long-term trend line. We don't want rejection here, everybody. We don't want rejection because we know that that could spell. We're not doing a video on downside here, but wanted to throw that out there just to give you an idea of what could potentially happen. So those are my thoughts today. I wanted to do a nice technical analysis because we talked about this literally in the video the other day, talking about potentially putting in higher highs and higher lows. And now we are currently, right now, in the process of potentially putting in our first higher low, right? So as anticipated, we're cruising along. Time will tell what happens next. Wanted to do a nice short video for you talking about these things. I hope you're having an awesome day. Again, if you're here, not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It means a lot. Looking forward to kind of continuing on this crypto journey with you. Hit the like button right now on the way out. I'll see you all in the next video. Have an awesome day and God bless.